Hi everyone, hi YouTube, hi Traps. Today I'm going to show you a new video about RTA, and I will try to make the video without playing any legendary Dark and Light. Before to start to show you the matches, I will explain you what do I think about playing only RGB or Epic's Dark and Light. To be honest, if you want to expect to use only these champs, then you have to be a very late game player, especially if you want to use them in high level of RTA. It means if you are able to use these champs, normally you should have plenty of legendary Dark and Light that you could also use. So I think it's just funny to make that kind of video to show that you should be able to use some RGB, but if you can have all of this RGB with Ascend or books, it means you probably have a lot of Dark and Light. For example, if we speak about Shane, if I had the books and the Ascend on him, I would obviously play this gem because he is totally insane. But right now, this is not a priority to ascend or use the books on that kind of champ, even if he is probably one of the best RGB for RTI. This is similar for that kind of champ, Darcy. You should probably also use this champ. I don't even know what he's doing, but he should be a very good brazier. As I said, I don't even know these mechanics, but I don't think this RGB would not be usable if you invest on him. This is similar for Kasim. Um, Afroni, they just upgrade her. I think this champ should be usable right now. There are a lot of RGB with SN and Invest that could be usable for RGA. This champ has a funny kit too, so you should be able to use him. But the true things is that when you have some dark and light that are good for ATA, you will obviously invest on them and you will not invest on the RGB. This is why you will never have enough resources to invest on that kind of champ. This is same for Thor. But yeah, if you invest a lot and if you don't have enough luck to got some top of the dark and light champ, yeah, you could invest on that kind of champ. Thor, for example, is very strong, but we don't see him that much. Um, Rick, Rick is also very strong, but who's going to use um, who's going to invest on that kind of champ that you can use only for some specific matches of RTR because you would not be able to use this champ everywhere. So if you have all the champ, the RGB A5, and if you can invest on them, then yeah, obviously you could play on the top to in the RTA, but this is not what a new player could do. I think it would be more easy for the new player to got some OP Dark and Late and invest on him than to expect to invest on 10 different RGB for RTA. This champ is totally underrated too. is playable in specific matches. So yeah, you can't invest on that kind of champ just to win some specific matches right now. But it doesn't mean that this champ is not OP. This is pretty similar for Flaming Mila. Some people are using Flaming Mila in her TA, and believe me, in some matchup, she can kill all the team. Alice is also very good for an RGB. Alice is worse than Vest because she's also usable in PvE. Karma is obviously very strong. Alicia is one of the best RGB to play in RTA right now, even if we don't see her anywhere. She has some very good mechanics about steals, and I think she's totally underrated. This is probably one of my next book champ for RTA with Cordelia. Cordelia same, she's still very strong. So if you can invest on her, it's going to be a good investment for RTA. And there you still have Alesia, which is very strong for RTA. So Guan Yu, Atara, you on this faction you have Aelia, which is also very strong, and Ralph. So there are a lot of RGB that are usable in RTA, and I forgot the last one that they released. The Yes, her. She's also very strong because she can counter the immunity set. But the problem is that if you have enough resources to invest on all of this champ, as I said, so you probably already have summoned some OP Dark and Light. This is why during my video I will show you how to use RGB without Dark and Light, but I will also use a lot of Epic champ. I think for the new players who try to catch up in RTA, they will probably have to use abuse of some Epic champ before to expect to use RGB with A5. All the epic champ that I use in RTA and that I recommend to book are this. Okay, I'm right now. I still don't have him booked or ascend, but I think this guy should be usable in RTA because he has some nice reduce damage mechanics. It's about area damage, but it's always good to have that kind of passive for RTA. And he has some similar mechanics of J-Base. So if you are a new player and you don't have J-Base and you hear a lot about this gem, I think, and if you are enough lucky to have Kairami, I think Kairami could replace Jabez simply. Because when the enemy gains the bonus turn, then you will launch a counter attack with the basic ability. It means you will launch counter attack with this spell. And this spell apply the flame bomb. It means if you have the A2 and if you counter attack with the basic ability, the the Karaimi will apply the flame bomb. So it will additionally apply the silences that cannot be resisted to the same target. So you will probably not deal as much damage as Jabez, but you will put the silence on the enemies, and it seems to be much more easy to build Karami than to build Jabez. So I think this champ is underrated, and I think it should be usable as an epic in RTA. Alastair, I'm using him a lot with my another Akun, which is not that old than mine. I think he has some mechanic that you would always appreciate to use him. This is passive. He's going to stun someone after his turn, so it's always disturbing for the adversary to play against Alastair, especially if you last pick him. Obviously, Aurea is one of the best epics in the game, even if there are a lot of immunity set now and a lot of counter for control units, but she's similar of Keiraimi, um, Alastair. This is the kind of champ that you have to draft well. It means you have to draft Aurea as a last pick, and then you would be able to counter your enemy. But if you first, yeah, you can't first pick that kind of champ, obviously. Jabez, so Jabez is the burst version of Keirami. He has a very nice mechanic about the agility. Well, I will show you my Jabez, for example, because I like to use Jabez a lot, and I will explain you how you should use Jabez in my opinion. You have to be around 10,000 attacks and as much agility as possible. The the G-Flicked mechanic is very insane, and okay, it brings some RNG to the match, but if you can deflect 3 hits, then it could give you the win. Mine is not that fast. You don't need to be too fast, to be honest, because if you don't have enough attack, then you will not kill the unit during the counter attack. Mine is close to kill SSA even if the player are using Ralph. So I'm using Assassin with Warrior. And something that you should care about is to this relic is pretty bad for him, but you want to have that kind of relic is not too bad. And yes, this one, especially this one, this relic is the best for that kind of champ, for Jabez or for Light Yolanda, for example. This is very important to optimize the damage with the relics. And there are not many substats that can optimize the damage of Jabez or Light Yolanda. Yeah, you want to have some. I will show you the best substats. Obviously, you need to have attacks, and you want to have attack for PvP and um, damage. Yes, this one. I think there are some substats that increase the damage from counter attack. Or bonus attack for Jabez, it will be a counter attack there. So, well, obviously, I don't have this kind of relics. But this is the substat that you need to care about. This one is even better than or similar to the attack PvP. I don't know. I don't have. I have something just like this. Ah, yeah, this is what I'm using on. But this is on the third slot, so I still don't have good relics there. Is if you take crit damage, then it will not scale for Chapez. Um, and this one is scaling about the lost heals. So it's not too bad, but personally I prefer the scaling about the current heal, especially for RTA, because you want to deal as much damage as possible during the first hit. So this is important to optimize the damage of Chapez. And there you want to have PvP mode attacks and heals or damage against dark heroes. Because this is where it's going to be strong, especially to counter ACC. So let's see the other champ that I recognize for RTA. Um, Obviously, as you know, this one is one of my favorite champ, and I will explain you some combo that you could do with him, even if you don't have Gubek. This champ starts with the turn with the crab joint attack. It means every time you are going to use an offensive spell, this champ is going to use the special ability. This is the special ability. It means you can turn and you can remove the positive effect, and you will also deal a lot of damage. I also booked this gem. I used to use her sometime for RGA, but to be honest, she is rarely usable. Sylan is a pretty good epic champ too. She can bring a lot of RNG during your fights, and if you are enough lucky, then you can win the match just in using her. This kind of pick is like, okay, this match I'm not gonna win anyway, or I mean, I'm probably gonna lose the match, so I will bring Sylan to bring some RNG and try to do something. Archie, I used him a lot. He's one of the best epics in the game for RTA. You want him to take as much damage as possible, then he would be able to counter the attack about the damage that it took, and he's doing a lot of damage. I think Vance is also usable there. I'm not sure, but I think the immunity set should add him the rage. That I'm not sure about this. If it adds him the rage, then it should trigger the bonus turn more fast. Okay, this is for the wood. Fire. In fire, there are yeah, only one champ that I recognize to book. I'm using her a lot. She can kill many champ in the game right now. She's one of the best epic, if the best epics in the game for RTA. She has a trait that will add her a lot of um, offensive stats, as you can see, and the damage from the ultimate is not that high because she has some mechanics. This is why the scaling is only 220%. To be honest, I would prefer to have like 250, 260% without anything, without no positive effect or without any other mechanics. But they decided to do something like this, so you do have only 220%, but she has some bonus stats that will allow you to one shot most of the champ in the game. And this champ is important. This is why I will explain you how to optimize her damage as much as possible. This is same. This is about the relics. So if you are using epic champ in RTA, it means you probably don't have that much good relics. But if you are enough lucky and you can drop some good relics, then you should focus on two stats: the ultimate ability crit damage, because this is what you are going to use, and the crit damage scaling about the current heals. If you have, for example, when I'm using the ultimate with her, I already have, only with the first relic, I already have plus 50% damage on my ultimate, because I'm going to play first, and the enemies will obviously have 100% of the current heals. It will maximize the substats. It will add 22% damage. And this is similar for there. So if you the main stat is not that important. You must optimize the substat more than the substat. So if you look at the gear bonus, it means for my Fire Synthesis, she has 42 bonus damage on the ultimate ability crit damage, and she has 20%, no, 45% crit damage with the target's current hit. It means she's around 90% crit damage bonus with the first ultimate. This is insane. This is how you can expect her to one shot having the tank in RTA. The tank that are not playing with Dragon Scale. Okay, let's see. What? No, epics. So this is about fire. You still can use this one. I think is not too bad, but very difficult to use. He used to be very good before, but right now I don't think is worth the investment. And about the water heroes, one of the best heroes in the game right now is an epic, and this is Kyle. He has a very good speed base that should allow you to have the speed to play first. I will explain you something about Kyle, and you you still can use Onomaros because you would probably have to book him anyway to make the tower more easy. So he is usable in RTA, but he has many counter right now. And obviously Bachi. Bachi is a terrible nuker that can kill even the most tanky champ in the game. And the meta right now is based on Breezer champ, so Baki is too strong for the meta. Yeah, something I want to explain about Kyle. If you play Kyle, when you use the ultimates, you are going to trigger the the trait, the crab trait attack of Morgan, because um, when they definized the crab giant attack, they said alongside the attack of any ally. So the ultimate of Kyle is considered as an attack. It doesn't mean that you have to deal damage to trigger the threat of Morgan. It has to be an attack. For example, it also works for the taunt of Brozak. This is considered as an attack. Yeah, and it will also trigger the resonance. Jer, I think. So if you use Kyle with the crabs, then it means you are going to trigger the crabs one time when you will use this spell, and you will get the bonus turn, and you will probably trigger the crabs another time if you use an offensive attack. It means the combo is pretty insane. This is what I would prioritize if I were a new player. I would focus on Kyle and Morgan to try to climb in RTA. This is my favorite epics, and the third one would be obviously Fire Melissa. So this is the end of the explanation of RTA, of my vision of RTA, and pretty soon I will release some video where I'm trying to use these gems to show you that it's possible to climb RTA even in using Epic gem. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you soon.